Hey, welcome back to SmartWatchTicks. You are getting a look at a whole bunch of watches, and I know, you're still having trouble deciding which of these watches to buy. I mean, it's not quite like buying a car or anything, but more people are taking time to study the watches than they are their phones. That's because there's so many out there, and we're looking at Android watches, and in particular, we're looking at the round format watches and the ones that are running Android 5.1. Now, we've already done a review kind of comparing each of them together, and each and every one of these, the IQI i2, the Kingwear KW88, the Z-Blaze Blitz, or Z9, they're both identical, and the ZGPAX S88, S99. Okay, all of these we've already reviewed individually and then as a group. We also took them all apart, showed you the insides, and we've walked around outdoors to show you what the displays look like. You need more, I understand. Today we're going to delve deeper into GPS on these watches. How well does it work? How well do they pick up? And what can we expect? Again, these are Android 5.1 watches. We also had compared before these watches with, at that time, the only large screen round watch to compare them against, which was an Android 4.4 round watch from Firmware, the X5. Well, since the last time we were doing this update, Firmware has released another one, same thing, an AMOLED large screen display running Android 4.4 with only one button called the Q3. Now at the end of this video, I'm going to show you something really cool in a firmware update that just came in a couple of days ago for this particular watch that's going to echo through, hopefully, the entire Firmware and maybe even number one line of watches. Because you see, number one and Firmware kind of do a whole different take on how they do these smartwatches than the ones you're about to see, including, well, you're going to see. So, by the way, this is one of the watch faces now that's been downloadable off of their server. You don't need fancy techniques to go in there and link it to your computer to put new watch faces on there. You can do it simply by pressing and holding, going all the way to the end, hitting this plus button, and waiting for the watch faces to load up, then selecting the one you want, and boom, you've got it. See how easy that is? There they go. But I digress, because this is not about that. This is about something else. GPS on these watches, which I've talked so long they've all gone off. Here's a cool thing. You see how that flip and turn thing is working on these to light up like that? These are on different timing out sequences, I believe. All right, let's talk about GPS. In another video that we have up where we're addressing the most commonly asked questions that I get in the comments section, the number 3 most asked question is, well, what about GPS? How well does that work? And in that video, you'll see that we download an app called Engineer Mode MTK Shortcut. Don't you go away. Come back here. And that's what I've done on all of these watches, and that's what we're loading up on all of them. And I've got them all up simultaneously. Come back here. So that we can test them all at the same time. When we load that app, we have to scroll over 4 times to location and tap on location-based services. I'm going to do that on each of them. Just looking at the displays, you can get a feel for how this shows up on each of the watches. We're going to go to the tab that says GPS on each of them. And here we have to scroll down. And you see in the upper left-hand corner it says GPS off. Now, keep an eye on the timer on your YouTube feed right now. Down here in the lower left-hand, make note of the seconds, and you can see what we're about to do when I hit the GPS off button to turn it on, and then go over to the view. Once I hit the on, that's when we start tracking how many seconds it takes for each of these watches to lock up to the satellites overhead and get a solid GPS signal. You ready? I can't do them all at the same time, but I'll go as quick as I can. On, view, on, view, on, view, on, view. Okay. There are little red dots right now. Down at the bottom is where we get bars. You see the KW88 is already getting a red bar coming in. Counting seconds there for me, right? Everything, okay, we've got something coming in here, a couple of them. Notice the spatter pattern. Oh, I like that word, spatter pattern, of the satellites overhead. Ah, there we go. The KW88 has locked in. See the green now. Now we have GPS. There we go. That one's locked in. This one's getting some red over here. So Kingware was first. Z-Blaze Blitz, the waterproof outdoors watch, came in next. It kind of came in and went out. Okay, you see a few little green ones there. Unfortunately, I don't think we can scroll up on any of these. Well, okay, it's lighting up, but we're not seeing the green bars that much. But this one looks like it's locked in. And good old I2 has not acquired yet, all right? So the good news is it's relatively quick to lock up, and most of these watches, leading by the KW88, locked up right away. But that's only a part of the story. Look at what the watches are on, folks. It's a little paint tube, and there's nothing in it. It's empty. And so there's nothing blocking the antennas. What we really need to do is test these watches out on your arm and whether they will lock up or not. Now, having tested this before, I'm going to tell you that's a bit of a challenge right from the get-go. So I'm going to leave these watches in the already locked up, they're all fading out on me, don't you go, in the already locked up state, but I'm just going to take them off and put them on so we can see what happens. Don't fall over, all right. Because this is where you really need to see which watch is best. There's the dock, I'm taking it off. Here's the watch. Ah, you guys. I don't want them to flip over, so this should support them somehow. I think if I twist that a little bit, maybe it'll stay. These are still locked up. We still don't have anything over there. I'm not going to put it solid, but I'm going to hold it. Okay, first of all, we're looking at the green on the S99 from ZGPAX. I want it solid against my wrist and want to leave it here for a few moments to see what happens. Because historically what I've seen, many of these watches, it starts to lose the signal relatively quickly and it drops out. Now this one so far is doing good. All the other ones are locked up. Well, not all of them, but the middle two are still locked up. You can see that behind me. So we got good GPS there. This one's not changing at all. So the ZGPAX S99 watch locked up third in the sequence, but that's not so important as that it stays locked when it's on your arm. Okay, going to set that one aside. So far, so good. Let's take another one. Yeah, I'm going to take them off anyway so they don't go flipping off on me. Because we're going to need to do this on all of them except for you. Hello. It is on, right? Yeah, GPS is on. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to turn it back on again. Just because, I don't know. That's what you do, I guess, when you're messing around with this stuff. Don't go out. Don't go out. Okay, the number 2 one to have come up is this one with its stock that's really a challenge to get off. I know there's probably an easy way, but I don't know what that is. We're going to try the same thing with the Z-Blaze Blitz. Put it on my arm. Hold it in there tight. And give it a go. Now, I'm in a house with a wooden roof, with a clear view of the sky, and not a lot of buildings around me. Probably the only Wi-Fi zone around, although Wi-Fi doesn't matter in this. This is just GPS. I have had different results. The reason I wanted to show you this on is I have had these drop down and disappear. But today, because they're on camera, they're showing off. And everything is just fine. It's holding really good. That's nice. I'm not losing it. Before I would lose it pretty quickly, and that's what you would probably see. But it acquired it nicely, and it's holding very nicely. So I'm giving a thumbs up for the Z-Blaze Blitz Z9, waterproof with a camera, Android 5.1 watch. And that one's good. So you can go over here because next we go to the fastest one. This one locked up right away, the KW88 from Firmware. This has such a nice screen, and it's bigger than all the other watches. It's really a gorgeous watch. All right, yes, we're testing something, yes. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it around, and here we go. Oh, don't you go out on me. Did you see some of the green bars drop down a little bit? Yeah, they're still holding, they're coming back again. GPS is an art. The antenna, I think, is inside the watch or one of the bands. Oh, there we go. We lost signal. Now it came back again. Kind of flaky, kind of on the edge. Kind of brighter now. If I turn it, I don't know. See, this is why you have to see this in a video. I can't really just put it in the comments. GPS kind of works, kind of doesn't. You really got to get a feel for it. Well, it's sort of holding pretty good too. Now the IQI i2 did lock up on me before, link up on me before, but it's just not doing it today. Not sure what's up. Not good to not do it on video, guys. So here's how I would troubleshoot. I would go out of this. I would, what's the one? You press and hold this, yeah? And you go to the recent tasks, and I would get rid of it altogether so that when I do it all over from fresh. Touch it again, let it come in. Oh, you know what? Before I even do that, I want to come in here to settings. This is worth seeing because you may need to troubleshoot on your own. And where did we find that? I think this is under connections, yeah? Connect. And under connect is where you have your GPS. And you want to make sure it's turned on to high accuracy. But I'm going to turn it off right now, sort of like putting it in airplane mode. You know, though, when you put it in airplane mode, even your phones, it's not turning off GPS. You got to go in there and do that manually. And if you're not using GPS, by goodness, turn it off because it's going to be eating up a lot of power, especially if you have Google trying to figure out your location and track everywhere you are, whether you're connected to Wi-Fi or cellular or whatever. Anyway, a possible power drain on your device. So turn it off if you're not going to use it, but we are using it. We want high accuracy, which means we want the GPS doing its thing. Now we can come back in here. Go into our engineering mode. 1, 2, 3. Location-based services. Scroll to the top. Oh, first go to GPS, then scroll up. It is off, so we're going to turn it on. And we're going to go to view. And we're going to give it a chance to link up. While it sits there, I want to come back and just give another shout out to these guys to see what happens again if I put them on. Are they consistent? This is the Z9 or Z-Blaze Blitz. We've done a review on this watch. I like this one a lot. It's it's obviously an outdoor watch. It's kind of big and bulky, but it does have a side camera to it, and it is waterproof. I mean, really seriously waterproof, which is nice. See, there it's trying to acquire. I'm not getting any bars whatsoever. Now, I'll tell you, I have 2 of these. One of them never came up. The other one did come up. This is the one that did come up. Now it's not coming up. I'm not sure about this. Not looking good. And here I'm still getting good, solid signal on the Z9 on GPS. Another factor of all of these is the firmware. You may need to go in there and make sure that the firmware is updated. Now, another thing you noticed, I've allowed these watches to go off, and earlier firmwares would drop the GPS signal if it went off. Now, these are holding. You see that as soon as I turned it on, it was still inside the app and there's still green bars. Now, it could be because I'm in the app and the app is forcing the GPS to stay on. If I wasn't in the app and I wasn't in Maps or I wasn't in something that's actively using GPS, it's possible the GPS might be turned off by the watch. Probably for sure, if you have power savings turned on, the GPS may be turned off. There, I'm dropping again on this one. Not consistent on the KW88. But at least we're seeing that when the app is running and the screen goes off and I turn it back on, I still have GPS signal. But I'm not getting anything on the IQI-i2. Oh, where did my other watch go? Oh, it's way over here. There you go. Turn that back on, and we still have GPS, see? ZGPAX S99 on the wrist. Tracking solid. Dropped one. They're going down a little bit, but they're not dropping out completely. So perhaps if you were Bluetooth tethered or definitely Wi-Fi tethered to your phone, and you were out and about and using that tethering to pull in Google Maps or Google directions and navigate, perhaps you would be able to use your watch to do navigation. If you have a SIM card in one of these, you for sure should be able to, as long as they're getting you your data stream. It's working just like a phone. And you should be able to do all sorts of Google navigation right from your watch, sitting in back of your Uber, deciding and determining whether or not the driver's taking you in the most cost-efficient route to your destination, right? Just from your watch. Pretty cool. Okay, these are all doing nice. I like that. Little more touch here so you don't go out. Maybe familiarity will help this one come on. Don't know why the i2 is not working for us, but I did want to show you something I promised on the Find watches, right? Check this out. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go down to settings. Settings. Low power. Yeah, I know I've been using it a lot. I'm going to go into display and look at my options in display. I have brightness and I have sleep. No wonder it's sleeping after 30 seconds. I usually set them for 2 minutes when I'm doing these videos. That's the only options I have here, right? Okay, this is an Android 4.4 X5 from Find running the old firmware. We don't know yet whether this firmware update will be applied to the 4.4, but all the new Android 5.1 watches, when I go into settings, are you getting excited? I hope so. And you go into display, and you got brightness, and you got your sleep time, and you have interface style. Look, folks! Third-party application interface style. Look familiar? Does this look like when I press and hold here, and up at the top I have full or small? Small is when an app shows within a square inside the circle, so you can get to the corners to touch your menu items. Voila! Full is when it's filling round, and if like you have Google Play Store and you can't get to the menu item up there and you think you're all hosed up, you could come back here and change it simply by, and this is much more convenient no matter where you are. Oh wow, look, it switched. Do you see that? Now it's in the square. I'm still not acquiring anything in the i2. I'm doing really good here in the S99, and if I press and hold and change it to full, it snaps right back again, which is what we want it to do. And right there we are, still got everything. And it switches to square as well. So all that stuff is working. And of course our KW88 does the same thing, right? Yeah, and it's got good signal too. So all of them are working well. This one is a little bit less consistent over time. The bars drop just a little bit, but it's still solid. So of the 4 watches that we've had for evaluation in the round Android 5.1 category, 3 of them work really well on GPS. And the i2, not sure what the problem is here, but I'm not getting it to lock up. Well, looks like we have one more thing we need to do. After posting the last video on GPS signals, I was told by several folks that it really only counts if you do it outside. So I got our portfolio of 4 watches here, and we are going to take a look at it outdoors and see what each one of them does on the paint tube and on the arm. All righty, let's go. The first one is the IQI i2, sitting here stuck in a boot loop. I don't know what's up with this one. This is actually the second one. The first one, after playing with the GPS and really trying to get it going, completely locked up with a black screen. I tried to flash it, and it won't recognize the watch on the connection to the computer. This one actually was doing well. I left it all night, and it acquired GPS, so I thought I'll show it off. I came out here, I put it on here, I went out of it to make sure it wouldn't time out for 30 minutes, and boom, if it didn't just die and go into this boot loop. A boot loop is where it just keeps rebooting over and over again. So you know what, folks? The IQI i2 watch, I cannot recommend it. We've had nothing but problems with it. I got 2 busted ones now just trying to get GPS. So, for the IQI, whee! It's out of the competition. So we go down to these 3. I'm outdoors. It's a little overcast, and I'm trying to give you a view as best I can in the sunlight. Well, the shade light. The Kingware KW88 looks good. Got green bands at the bottom. Same thing with the Z-Blaze Blitz. Are you guys getting that in focus? And then, of course, the ZGPAX S99 is looking good as well. So they're all doing great on the paint tube. What do they look like on the arm? That's the real story, because that's how you'll be wearing your watch. All right, let's give it a try. Here's the KW88. Hope you guys can see that. If you can't, I'll tell you. I've got beautiful all green dots except for 2 red ones inside the circle, and I've got solid green bars. It's on my arm. It's working perfect. I can move it around. I'm not losing it. Solid connection on the KW88 outdoors. When you saw it before, it was inside of a house with nothing overhead but one thin piece of wood roof to the sky. But not even under that roof, when I'm outdoors, I'm getting really, really good connection. KW88, well, it just faded a little bit. The green just went down slightly and then popped back up again. But it's giving a solid connection all the way across the board. I give it a thumbs up. Here we are with the Z-Blaze Blitz, the Z9 by another name. And again, we're seeing good, solid results. Just like the Kingware KW88, nothing is changing. The bars are staying stable, and all of the dots are lit except for a couple of the satellites. Whoa, they just all, well, they're going back and forth. That's just the satellites crossing the sky. We're supposed to have just 4 of these, and I've got, gee whiz, all of them but 1 or 2. So, really good results on this watch as well. And last of all, in our little set of, well, was 4, now 3 working watches with GPS in them that are the large Android 5.1 style, the ZGPAX S99 is likewise giving us really good, solid results. So just sitting under a clear sky in the grass, minding my own business, I've got solid GPS on all of these watches. This appears to be a non-issue as a decision-making factor between these watches. What about the FiNow and number 1 watches? Well, there'll be a video coming on that. I want to clear up a few points here real quick before I close this video out. In my excitement, I was referring to the Q3 as if it were an Android 5.1 watch that got a firmware update that allowed us to do those apps in squares. It's not. It's an Android 4.4, exactly like the X5, which is the same size, or the X3 smaller with 2 buttons, or the X1 with 1 button. They're all the same Android 4.4. The exciting thing is, this was updated to let us do that little special thing of putting an app in a box. Now, I like Pocket a lot, and I've not been able to use Pocket on any of these watches up until now in the way that I like. Here's an article, for example, and I can go in here now. I can touch the menu item up in the upper corner, and I can go down here to listen TTS, and it'll actually start reading the article to me. Can you hear that? I don't have the volume up loud, and usually I have it Bluetooth tethered and just have an earpiece, and I can pause it and I can play it, and I can put any article I want in Pocket, and when I'm done I can delete it and I can sync it, and it's all there offline. And the only thing I was missing was that ability to tap into the upper right hand menu, because if you go into the settings, display, interface style, back to round, now it's reloading it, and it's reloading it in the round. And that's what I'm used to. So if I pick something, there it is nice and round. There it is readable. But there's no way I can touch the menu bar up there. Now, I really like the watches that you press and hold, and it brings this up, and there's the option to switch it on the fly right there. That's those other ones like the KW88, the ones you just have been looking at. But at least, we've got the capability of doing it by going into the settings and setting it up. So it's not Android 5.1, it's 4.4. It's the same as all the other ones, and it has that ability to make the app square. That's the first thing I wanted to clear up. Second one is our KW88. I looked at the video, and it looked really weird, like it was flickering and doing all sorts of strange things when we were looking at the engineering stuff. And I just wanted to tell you, it's not like that at all. I'm going to see if it looks the same on camera. I think it had something to do with being outdoors and doing this outside. Is it flickering? Now, it's not flickering in the camera for me. It's not flickering in real life either. And it might be the level of brightness difference. But if it looked like it was freaking out to you, which it did to me when I replayed the video there, fully acquired the signal, inside the house with the roof overhead. If it looked that way, it's not that way. It's a great watch. Don't get freaked out because it looked like it was having a screen spasm. It wasn't. And lastly, the IQ i2 is back. I had to take it apart, which, good news, it's a metal back. It doesn't have cracks. A lot of these plastic ones crack. Bad news, it's got a regular type screwdriver, not the Phillips. It's a lot harder to take these in and out, but they're good sized screws. Good news, by disconnecting the battery and putting it back in again, it came back, and it behaved as if it was doing a firmware update. So I haven't looked, but I want to check out what firmware we have in here. It's the 2016-0720 that's running in this right now. And I also want to see, if we say wireless update, if it tells me that I have an update waiting. It says, no, it's the latest version. I'm pretty sure that's the firmware I was on, so my guess is when I went in there to mess around with Wi-Fi and I left it, all I did was press it and come back here to go into settings to change the display settings so it would time out after 30 minutes instead of, only 2 minutes, which is so I could keep it on long enough for us to do the video. At that point, it just suddenly started rebooting itself and would not stop. The only fix was to take it apart. And I still don't have any good information on Wi-Fi for you on this watch. So the IQi i2 thick thing, it's metal. That's a good thing. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching.